People across Hampton Roads are soaking up the sun this Thursday. Good evening. I'm David Allen.
And I'm Janet Roach. Whether it's the beach, the park, or just the backyard, it's been a beautiful day to get outside. So let's get to Jeff to see just how warm it is out there.
Well, it was very, very much above normal today, over 20, about 21 or 22 degrees warmer than we should be. A few high, thin clouds out there, sort of a dim sunshine out there right now, but nothing on radar, nor will there be tonight or even into tomorrow. What we're looking at out west is an approaching storm system, sort of that comma shape. This is the cold front associated with it. Some severe weather down across central areas of Alabama. But our big news, the warm flow of air out ahead of it. That's why we pushed up over 80 degrees today and why we keep the warmth in the forecast tonight. So some of you, we're not used to this kind of heat. Maybe today was even too hot. If so, get out this evening because it will be dropping and be very pleasant still. Look at those winds, south-southwesterly right now, 20 miles per hour. Here's what we're expecting over the next 6 hours as you get home and maybe get out and want to take that walk. It'll be a little breezy, but very comfortable, dropping from near 80 degrees still at 6 o'clock, back down into the lower 70s, and then even by late tonight, if you go to a movie that gets out at midnight or something, you're still not going to need the jacket really coming out of there, as it'll be in the mid 60s. How much warmth sticks around for tomorrow? Well, we do see a cold front coming, that one I showed you, and I'll tell you what kind of changes we're expecting. That's coming up.
Right now, state police are on the hunt for whoever fired shots into a moving car just outside the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel late last night. They say the shooting was likely an act of road rage. 13 News Now reporter Stephen Graves spoke to the victim about it, and he's live in Hampton tonight. Stephen.
Yeah, Janet, we're live out here near Mallory Street exit right after the HRBT. That's where the victim pulled off to actually call police. He says he was just coming from a church group in Norfolk, came across him, an aggressive driver, but never, of course, expected his life to be threatened.
It felt and sounded like a huge glass bottle was exploded against my car door at a lot of velocity.
But it was actually a bullet, one intended for this Hampton man who says he's lucky to be standing here.
It was only a foot away from where my chest was and only, a little bit shorter to my head, and it's just terrifying. Could have been dead.
He doesn't want to share his name or face because the shooter is still out there.
I could hardly even remember what the truck looked like.
He says it started around 9:45 Wednesday night as he was going westbound in the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. A construction zone was ahead inside of the tunnel, but that truck cut him off, hitting a cone.
I honked at him whenever he hit the cone, and the cone flew and hit my windshield. At that point, I laid on the horn. I did not lay on it for an extended amount of time, but I did let a horn hit, in which I quit the horn and we drove through the tunnel.
But after the construction, the man says he switched into the right lane and sped up. As he was exiting on Mallory Street, he says he was fired upon. He says that bullet is still lodged inside of his 1-year-old Audi. As state police deal with an investigation, he deals with insurance and a little regret.
Don't honk at him, don't flip him the bird, don't interact with him at all, man. Just stay to yourself and be safe.
And state police tell us tonight they're looking for a white F-350 style pickup truck. If you have information, call them. But as we were talking to people out here, they say they were not actually surprised about road rage on the HRBT. I'll tell you why, coming up on 13 News Now at 6. Live in Hampton, Stephen Graves, 13 News Now.
Crime alert tonight in Newport News. Police are asking for your help finding the person who they say robbed the Warwick Red Barn at gunpoint. Take a look at this surveillance video right here. You can see the man walk in with a gun and put cash into his pockets. We're told this happened around 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Police tell us no one was hurt, but they are looking for this man. If you know anything that can help them, give police a call.
Firefighters from Virginia Beach and Chesapeake had to respond to a car dealership fire for actually a tire fire this afternoon. And you could see clouds of thick black smoke from our tower cam in Norfolk. This was at the My Car dealership on Military Highway. Investigators say they're still trying to figure out exactly what caused the fire, but they do say there was a large pile of cigarette butts found near the burning tires. 2 Portsmouth homes are total losses tonight after they were destroyed by a raging fire. Firefighters responded to the scene near Duke Street and Elm Avenue around 8 o'clock last night, but they couldn't get the flames under control until almost 11. 3 people were forced out by the fire. Still no word on what sparked it.
Right now, one of the largest private employers in Virginia Beach is expanding. Steel Incorporated is adding a new building to its campus off Lynn Haven Parkway that will quadruple the size of the current facility. 13 News Now reporter Allie Weatherton is live there now. And Allie, a groundbreaking just wrapped up.
Well, David, yes, it did. And you can probably still hear and see crews. They are working around the clock on what will be an 80,000 square foot facility that will house administrative employees. And actually, a building had to be torn down to make way for this new space. And leaders say this is going to be a game changer.
Located in Virginia Beach, Virginia, manufactures most of the steel products sold in the United States.
And the company continues to expand. This is the first look at the plans for the $25 million building. The space will house employees in departments like marketing, customer and technical service teams, and finance and controlling.
We will be over 200 employees in that building, but we'll also have space for growth in the future. So we've created the building large enough so that with the future growth that we have, we don't have to build a new building immediately, but we'll have enough space to accommodate them.
And everyone can work side by side instead of having to travel to campus to meet.
And that just allows for so much quicker communication, just easier meeting spaces.
Steel Incorporated first opened its doors here in Hampton Roads in 1974 with around 50 employees. Today, the company has well over 2,000.
We see a great future for our market here in the U.S. and our activities right here in Virginia Beach.
And this expansion isn't just good for the company, but also for the city.
The citizens of Virginia Beach benefit from good jobs being offered and a lot of taxes being paid out here.
Now, the goal is for the building to be 100% completed by 2019. Now, coming up at 6 on 13 News Now, hear what unique features will be inside the new state-of-the-art building. Live in Virginia Beach, Allie Weatherton, 13 News Now.
We have a consumer alert tonight. If you bank at Langley Federal Credit Union, some of your services won't be available this weekend. The company is converting its system, so beginning at 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon, shared branching, online banking, and telephone banking won't be available. ATMs will still be working. Langley says the services will be restored as quickly as possible on Monday, but bank branches will be closed. Everything will be back to normal on Tuesday.
Small but heartfelt tribute today at Oceana for Vietnam War veterans. It is all about ensuring the sacrifices of the 9 million men and women who served during that time are never forgotten. Sailors and members of the Patriot Guard Riders gathered at the base commissary. It's part of the Vietnam War Veterans Recognition Act of 2017, signed into law by President Trump. It designates each March 29th as the day to honor all those who answered our nation's call to duty in Vietnam.
Yeah, it's an honor and a privilege to come out and recognize our Vietnam veterans for the service that they did. They've given so much to our country, and their legacy lives on in what we do today.
It's very awesome. It's long overdue, and they didn't have to do it. So everything that they do, we appreciate, and they always let us know, welcome home, brothers and sisters.
58,000 American troops were killed in action in Vietnam. Memorial services will be held tomorrow for 2 Oceana-based naval aviators who were killed in a training crash in Florida earlier this month. Services for Lieutenant Commander James Johnson and Lieutenant Caleb King will be at NAS Oceana. They will begin at 10 o'clock. The pair died when an FA-18F jet they were flying crashed off the Florida Keys. The Navy says it was flying with only one engine at the time, and it is still not clear why.
The College of William & Mary is hoping to help military-affiliated students through a new pilot program. It's called Green Zone Training, and the goal is to create a network of faculty and staff members who know what's available to help students who are either active duty, reserves, or veterans. The program was pioneered at VCU in 2010. It's now offered at more than 100 universities and organizations across the country.
Remembering a professor who truly made a difference, and he was familiar to us here at 13 News Now and to our viewers. Steve Yativ taught for 25 years at ODU, and he appeared often in Mike Gooding's stories. Mike Yativ's death, really a shock.
Well, it really was, David. He was only 53 years old when he was claimed last week by a heart attack. He's being remembered by colleagues as a brilliant scholar and much more.
Well, I mean, if you want to go back to the beginning of Islam, the divisions between the Sunnis and the Shias begin in the 7th century.
If it had to do with the Middle East, Steve Yativ was your man.
Yeah, I think Afghanistan's still unstable.
Time and time again, he answered the bell whenever TV called. He made our viewers smarter.
He was beloved by both undergraduates and graduate students alike.
ODU political science and geography professor and chair Jonathan Lieb says Yativ's sudden loss is hitting the campus hard.
We are doing the best that we can, but this is a significant loss for the department and for Old Dominion University, and really for the country in terms of the study of the Middle East and of energy policy.
Yativ wrote 10 books, and he was a past winner of the State Council of Higher Education of Virginia Outstanding Faculty Award.
So he was a brilliant researcher, but he was also a very, very devoted professor to his students.
Every time I spent with him was both uplifting because he was so funny, and quality because he was so just so real and so insightful.
I think it was just devastating. I know I was devastated. I know I am. I'm heartbroken.
For all his academic excellence, Yativ excelled at one other thing, living life.
Steve loved ODU. He loved ODU. He loved his students. He loved Hampton Roads. He loved Virginia Beach, Williamsburg. He'd always say, we have the best lives, Eddie. And he was right.
And the university will hold a blood drive in Steve Yativ's honor. It is Monday, April 9th from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. in the Hampton Newport Newsroom at Webb Center. Reporting live, Mike Gooding, 13 News Now.